Hey everyone, welcome back to Wild Tony Farms, and today we're going to be getting into a new video. And before we get into the video, please go on and click the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Let's go on and get into the video. Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to another Wildwoods beekeeping live stream to the Wildwoods Farms YouTube channel. Thank y'all for joining. It is a beautiful Monday evening, 7 o'clock here in southeastern Alabama, and I've been pretty busy lately, so haven't been, I wasn't able to do a live stream last week since it was Memorial Day, so everything's been going good. So hope everybody's having a good day, but we'll let some people have some time to jump in tonight. I am outside. I figured I'd do it outside this evening since it's been a while since last summer since I've done one outside. I love doing them outside in the nature. It's really calming and relaxing. So that's kind of what's going on right now. Tonight we'll be doing some June beekeeping tips. Plus a Q&A. So if y'all have questions, please feel free to put those in the comment section below. We have 4 folks on here tonight, so we'll give some people a little bit of time to jump in. It's still kind of early. Usually it takes a little bit of time for people to jump on in. Hope everybody's having a good day. Like I said, been busy around here. Bees have been keeping me busy. I will give some updates too. I answer questions. If y'all have any questions, feel free to put them in the comment section below. I actually had a video come out this Saturday, the May 31st. And that video was kind of like a video that I kind of put together last minute because I really didn't have one ready. But I went out to the bee yard Saturday and put some stuff together with some videos from a week ago. So I was able to kind of fit those together and make a video, and it's doing pretty good right now. So we'll give that some time. Make sure y'all check that out after the live stream if you haven't already. So we have Russell Amon. Thanks for joining in, Russell, and Tim and Hannah as the first person here. So congratulations, Tim and Hannah from Gunline Bees. Like I said, we'll be doing June beekeeping tips. I have a small presentation lined up that I will do to start us off here in a second. Hey, Mike Tangway. Give people just a touch more time. So let's see any updates. Not a whole lot, except that I've been doing splits. I had a hive that I had to cut in half. Have not really checked them in that video. Like I said on Saturday, I did check them there, and I just saw queen cells getting ready to hatch. So giving them some more time to get up to the point where they need to be to get their queen, hopefully a mated queen. Takes some time, not in a huge rush. I really don't know yet if there's even a virgin queen in there. I have not been checking them as much, and that's the thing, this time of the year I really don't get into the colonies as much as I do in spring. Just because it's that time where they're doing honey supers. And look, I was out there in the bee yard, trying to take off a super and put it back on. And what the case was, I had this hive that is getting really populated. A lot of bees came out of winter with 3 frames of brood. I kind of monitored them throughout the winter. Really small colony. I'm surprised they got through winter, but they are doing fantastic. They're really looking good. They're building up. They were in a full deep and a super all the way full. Supers all the way full. I had to add another deep box. So to do that, had to take super off. A full super, pretty heavy. And then in the middle, had to put that deep in there. So it's pretty rough on your back when you're doing that. So that's why, especially whenever you have a super up here on top, that's kind of why I really don't take them off. Going down there too much. It's just a lot of work, especially if if there are those beekeepers who have to do that with like 5 supers. I mean, you don't want to be doing that as often. Every once in a while, I just don't do it as I don't really inspect as much. In summer, during the time where you collect honey, where they start collecting honey. No, that's the really only reason. Excuse me, but 11 people on here. People are starting to check in. But if you don't know already, the title, June beekeeping tips. That's kind of what we're doing tonight. Hey, Randy, the Tar Heel beekeeper. Let me know if the sound's okay. I kind of just put this thing together out here. I am running off just my laptop speaker, so it might not be as good. Hey, Gigi's Honeybees, thanks for checking in. Really good to see you. Jessica Fairfax, thank you for checking in, Jessica. A lot of good folks in here tonight. Tonight, this evening, and it's still pretty sunny out right now. Since it's it usually in summer it stays light a little bit later in the day. That's why I do these. That's why I usually do not do live streams out here during winter or during early spring. It's just because it just don't have enough light at this time. But since I do now, that's why I'm out here. So I guess without further ado, I'll go on and pull up our presentation here. If y'all have questions, feel free to put them in there. Just know, if you would, whenever people are checking in, feel free to just let people know that I won't be reading comments while I'm doing the presentation. So if I do not catch your comment, don't take it personal or anything. It's just that I'm not reading comments. I'm kind of I usually stay focused better when I'm not reading comments and stuff. I don't know. When the last time I did a presentation, I exited out all of the comments and everything and just focused just on the presentation and did a much better job. Just because I'm not having to do 2 minds of, okay, I see a comment, I gotta do this. So I'll be able to go back and start questions to answer them. So just if you see somebody new who may not know that, just feel free to put them in there and let people know. So there's that. Let me put up this presentation here. June beekeeping tips. This is only like a 6 thing here. Really hoping this goes kind of according to plan. I had everything set up, so then I actually am not messing up. Here we go. All right, so these are June beekeeping tips. Beekeeping tips for the month of June. It's that time of the year again, where we're kind of building up for the dearth in a lot of places. I know a lot of places during summer they still have flows, but for down here in Alabama, we do not. So we have to battle that. So our first thing, even though it is there's not as much nectar out there, we do need to keep watching for swarm signs. Like I said, we don't get into our colonies as often, but it is still important whenever you go in there to just kind of watch for them. Make sure you keep an eye out. Because it's really important. Make sure you don't have swarm cells so that you can be able to properly do what you need to do, whether it be the Damari method, or you can do a walk-away split. Make sure there's no backfilling of the brood nest with nectar and pollen, congestion, too many bees in that space. So just make sure you watch for those signs. Like I mentioned in my last live stream when I talked about May and April, it kind of remains the same, even though if you add space, does not 100% eliminate the potential for them wanting to swarm, because the swarm mode in those bees is pretty much already activated. So the only way you can change that is to make a split. The Damari method, walkaway split. That's really the only way to get rid of it, because then you're pretty much replicating what a swarm would do, is half them in half, or if you have a double deep, do what I did, 4 frame splits, 5 frame splits out of um, 4 colonies from one. So basic, just keep watching for swarm size. Make sure you do not I mean, even if you lose a swarm, it ain't gonna hurt. Actually, I think whenever I saw that swarm, if you didn't see that video where I did 2 splits from 1 colony, I didn't see a queen in there, so I believe they had already swarmed, but there were still a lot of bees in there, so I did what I could, had some swarm cells. I still made good out of what might have been not the best, but we lose swarms. Hey, it's natural. Um Now, the next thing you want to do, especially in this time of the year, whenever we have the DERF and it's really, really hot, is being able to provide ventilation and water. So let's talk about water first. So how do you properly give your bees water? So what you'll do is you'll just basically just get yourself a bird bath if you already have one. Put water in it, and the bees will find it. What I also find is that bees will find water anywhere. So around here, we have a pond not too far off from here. So I can basically I probably don't have to put any water around here. They can just go to that pond and drink there. But I still provide some water in cans or whatever it be in a bird bath. I have a video on that long from a long while back. You might be able to find it. But just, provide water. It's important, especially during hot temperatures, because what they'll do is that whenever they'll use the water for their own consumption, they keep cool in the hot. But what they'll also do, which is pretty unique and cool in my opinion, is that they'll spray that water on the brood to keep it cool, especially in hot temperatures, because it needs to stay around 94 degrees. Ventilation now. Ventilation is pretty simple. You can um, let's see here. The inner covers do provide. If you have an inner cover, that will provide some type of ventilation, not the best ventilation. So what would be recommended is to, number one, you could use screen bottom boards. Now, I don't use particular one. I don't like focus on just one. I use both. I use screen bottom boards. I use solid bottom boards. Really don't find much of a difference. But I do know screened bottom boards will help you out a lot in ventilation. And that's a lot of times why you see bees bearding. I've been seeing bees bearding even in late May. So down here in Alabama, it gets real hot, and it's been hot lately. But right now, it's actually pretty nice out here. I'm pretty surprised. It's been really nice. The sun has been setting, so you can see the sunset right there. And look there, you got the bee yard right there. So you got the bee yard back in the background. That's why I kind of have this position here. So just provide ventilation and water access for your bees. It's really important and something that your bees will find value in. Um, just want to be able to plan for summer DERF, whether it be feeding, if whatever you need to do, make sure you're planning for that. Because I've had a lot of bad things happen during the DERF, and it seems like the past 2 years of my beekeeping thing, everything seemed to always go downhill whenever the DERF came about. I don't know if it seemed like it was a lot to do with hive beetles and bees absconding and bees flat out just dying out. That's been my downfall every time coming into the DERF. June, July, August. Those, spring. My past 2 springs, including this one, have been really good springs and productive. This spring has been much more productive than the past 2 springs, in my opinion, because everything is kind of a little bit more organized and not as scattered out as some of the past spring seasons. But it seems like the last 2 seasons, things were going fine in spring, but just didn't really do well during the dearth. So this year, I'm going to do my best to provide not just water and ventilation, feed if necessary. They still have food in the colonies as we speak, but I will do some open feeding and let them get that. They really enjoy that. Because there was one time in 2023 where I set out a whole bunch of sugar water. It spilled out the bottom and went all over the ground. And not even 30 minutes later, it came back, bees all over the ground wanting it. So right then I could tell the dearth was really kicking in bad. The bees, pretty much in 2023, was one of the worst years for beekeeping. Like it was a nightmare during 2023. That's why last year was a upgrade, and this year seems to be better. But there's still some things to improve, and we'll see that going forward. I'll be talking more about what's going on here um, during the spring season. I've been doing videos once a week, so I haven't been uploading as much, like 4 times a month. But I kind of like that better, and it's just been not the main thing for me. The main thing's been my bees. Second thing's been my YouTube channel. I used to really focus on the YouTube channel really more than the bees, but I'm kind of steering away from that. I'm trying to focus more on the bees and use the YouTube channel just to show my appreciation for keeping bees and do the best I can. So anyway, I not to try to drag this thing out more than it needs to be, but just plan for your summer dearth, whatever it needs to be. If you need to feed, don't use those open feeders, the entrance feeders, because I've had bad problems with that too. Make sure you use entrance reducers. I know you may be thinking entrance reducers are a waste of time, but I can promise you they're really not, because whenever I had a colony and I had that mindset, entrance reducers are just a waste of time, I was will not even buy them. Well, I came back, the entrance was wide open, and that hive was robbed out. It was a really good colony too. It really wasn't weak or anything. It was pretty strong. Still robbed out, wide open entrance. I wonder, that might not be the only case, but that was that was during 2023, so it's kind of understandable during that type of dearth. Bees are going to rob each other out, especially if they're really that in need of nectar. So slide 5: evaluate the queen health. Um, if you don't know, if you're watching this, I'm not reading comments. I have no idea what's being said. But if you would, please ask some questions. I would really love if you would put some questions in the chat. I'll answer them when we're done with the presentation. Not too much further now. Queen health is really important, especially this time of the year. All year long, really, the queen health is really important. Now, the main way to evaluate the queen's health is really the brood patterns. If the brood patterns are good, it's not really too spotty. You'll know whenever you see a bad queen. If you see spotty brood patterns once in a while, don't get alarmed. Because if you see honey in the middle of those cells, here's what most likely to happen. A lot of bees are hatching and they're backfilling with nectar. That's what's going on if you see all this spotty brood. I see it all the time. You just got to inspect every frame, because there's a lot of times where I lift up one frame, I see a whole bunch of spotty brood, but with that nectar in there, then the next frame is pretty much just a beautiful slab of brood. So, don't be too worried about that. Just keep an eye out. Make sure she has a good pattern. Make sure every frame is not just spotty. Then that might be something to look into and make sure it's not just a dud that you need to squish and let them replace her or buy a new queen. Because if you do not do that at this time of the year, then that could go into winter with a bad queen. Now, I don't replace my queens every year. I never found that needy. I don't really find that is needed for me. And a lot of people are probably in the comments saying, well, you probably should replace them every year. It'd probably be the smartest thing to do. But I let the bees just do what they need to do. If they want to, if they're going to want to replace her, the bees will know when to do that. So I really find no need to do that. Now, there is some good reason to it, though. I'm not saying it's a bad reason or anything like that. I'm just saying, for me, I'm going to let them go. I'm going to let them do her thing until the bees kill her, because the bees will kill her whenever she needs to go. 100%. So evaluate your queen health is one tip I would 100% give out to beekeepers. And the last thing is to inspect every 2 to 3 weeks. Now, this is a big one. If you notice, it does not say 7 to 10 days, because if you remember in my last presentation, I said about 7 to 10 days, but now we're going to a 2 to 3 week inspection rate. You probably should lean more towards 2 weeks, but 3 weeks won't hurt. Now, here's the reason why. In the hot weather, whenever it gets hotter, and your bees are hard at work, and this is throughout the whole season, but spring is a little bit different because you have a more tendency of swarm actions. But in the dearth, it's less likely. It's like, let me just put it out like this. In spring, there's as long as you have a healthy, strong colony, you have a 70% chance that they're going to swarm. When you get 70 to 80 to 90% chance to swarm, but when you get back into summer, it's a little bit less. It's still there, but it's a little bit less. So in the summer, that's what I do, is to inspect every 2 to 3 weeks. Probably one every week would be fine, but 2 to 3 weeks is really what would be recommended to most beekeepers to inspect their bees in summer. So yeah, I guess that's about it. Just make sure you inspect your hives every 2 to 3 weeks. That gives you enough time to spot queen cells. It gives you enough time to evaluate your queen's health, mark queens if needed. Make sure the colony's health is in good order. Make sure your hive is healthy. Make sure everything is going okay. Make sure they're not making a mess of everything. Because you know what? I left a nuke the other day. If you didn't see my recent video, after this, you have to go check that out. That colony was left in a nuke for probably 2 weeks and I never checked them. Well, you probably can imagine when I went back and checked them, they were massive. They were really, really big. They're a really nice colony, really good nuke. So, yeah, that's about it. Thank y'all for tuning into this presentation. We're not done with the live stream, by the way, but this is the end of the presentation. Let me just X this stuff out. Got 13 people on here. I see Keith Spillman in here. We have Sarah. Hey, Sarah. Gunline. Tim and Hannah. Pastor Larry and Miss Jan. 14 people in here. John at 5280 Beekeeping. Thanks for checking in. Let me mark this down here. It's gone about 22 minutes. So if y'all would please share this live stream out and let people know to come on over here and ask some questions. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in there. I know Keith is probably busy up there in North Carolina. I haven't really been watching videos as much. You know what? Yesterday I got really caught up in a lot of videos, but I'm still way behind. I've just been kind of busy. At a Canadian Beekeepers blog. Hey Ian, how you doing this evening? Hope you're doing well. How is the weather up there in Canada? I know y'all must be probably, I would say, pretty warm. I'm not really sure. I just know that Pennsylvania was in a frost advisory the other day. I just kind of heard about that. Looked at their weather, and it's kind of in June. So let me just go back up to these comments. I missed a whole bunch of stuff. Not a whole lot of comments. Hope everyone has had a great week. My hives were hard at work on Sunday and today after 2 days of rain. Oh yeah, it's been raining last week. But we've gotten a break of the rain, which is a really good thing because it was just been a lot of rain, a lot of thunderstorms just coming, a lot of lines coming through. And right after that rain come in, those bees were hard at work trying to get out and be able to do stuff. Oh wow, 95 Fahrenheit. 95 Fahrenheit yesterday. Nice rain today. That's awesome. Good to hear that y'all are in some warm temperatures now. I don't know really what the temperatures are now. It's been in the 90s too here. It's been in the 90s for a while now, since from May. We've been hard at work in the bee yard to have 13 colonies. If y'all don't know, um, 11 of them have mated queens, and then 2 of them are awaiting queens. And we'll see how those do. Hopefully, they'll get some mated queens back in. I'll do videos and let y'all know if they do. Um, I do got a story to tell, and I'm still probably gonna do a video about it. Might as well. I mean, it was my mistake, but I had a swarm call. Oh, it also seems like my laptop's low on battery. Let's see, how much battery do I have on here? 28%. I gotta monitor that. If I'm getting low, I'm gonna have to figure something out. I can just run off the phone. We'll figure something out. But I got a call for a swarm the other day, and not a swarm, a hive in the bottom of a tree. And you can imagine that's pretty tough to get. I don't think I was able to get it clean. But I spent 40 minutes sucking those bees up, not knowing where I'm hitting, what I'm doing, trying to get these bees out of here. There's still bees there, by the way, in a little route going down. I have no idea how high they go. I know there's more comb going into the left side of the tree. Don't know if it's up or down or what it is, but got back to the house after getting them. I got a whole bunch of bees, and I thought everything was good, but opened them up. There at the time there was some bees alive, but a lot of them were dead already. I don't know. I know the reason why, but there's still some alive. So I left them. Came back the next day, and every single one of them was not alive. So I killed a whole bunch of bees. And it was just a mistake on my end. I think what happened is that they got overheated, and this was in the morning around 11 a.m., 10 a.m. Wasn't really in the afternoon, but it was pretty hot. Standing there for 40 minutes and not really cool air coming in, cooling them down. And y'all let me know kind of what this might be. But the coloration of the bees was much different than it should be. They were all wet, it seemed like. So I think they overheated in that bucket, is what my assumption is. I think that's what happened. So I learned my lesson that time, and killed a whole bunch of bees, but there is still a lot of bees there. It's just spending 40 minutes straight sucking bees in hot weather, especially at 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. It's probably not the really ideal time to do it. Probably would have been much better if it was 8 a.m., 7 a.m., that type of thing, where it was not as hot. I think that's what happened. I think they just really overheated. And you know what? I saw Bracken's video. I don't think he's in here, but maybe he'll check in. If he does, I'll mention that again, because I saw a particular video of him, and he overheated his bees and killed them. So when I was looking at that, I was like, that's pretty much what happened to what I did, in a different way, of course, but pretty much the same thing. Overheating bees, they were overheated, and that's what happened though. They just got way overheated in that 5-gallon bucket with the bee vac. Let me know if you'll have any experience with that. It's just unfortunate that happened, but a lesson learned, that's for sure. If y'all would please go on and click that thumbs up. If that thumbs up button would really help me out a lot, if you would consider doing that, would be greatly appreciated. Make sure to share out if you would. Get people over here. Feel free to ask questions. Feel free to bring up topics. Feel free to do what you want to do. Just be respectful in the comment section. That's really all I ask. I'm trying to read comments. Let's see what we got in here. I start with no gloves and let the ladies decide if I need them. I use a glove from Guardian. They fit really nice. Yep, I have tried not using gloves before. Didn't really end well. Started okay. It was really while back, but started okay. But a girl got me on the hands. So I immediately put the gloves back on and never tried it again. My bee's temper would probably be not good for that. You could keep your vac running to keep the air moving through the bees to help them keep cooler. Actually, John, that's exactly what I did. I kept that a vac going throughout the whole thing. And I just don't know. I really have no idea because I was thinking about that too. If maybe there just wasn't air circulation in there, but there was air circulation. Unless, here's my question though, for folks in the comments to answer, is whenever that vac is bringing in air, circulating air, um, is that air cool? Does it change the temperature, or does it just suck it in as it is? So if it does suck it in as the air the same way it usually does, then that kind of says why. If you have hot air circulating in there with all those bees close together, that kind of answers the question. And if that's kind of the thing, that would probably be an idea for a new vac to be able to circulate cooler air or something. I don't know, just something I was thinking. I'm not really sure. That might not really work, but might have got way too hot in there. I can't remember the temperature though. It was hot. I know that for sure, but really didn't feel like it was that hot. And they weren't. It didn't seem like they were squished or anything. It just seemed like they were discolored. Looks like they were wet. Is what it looked like. It looked like they were wet and like hot bees. Like looks like they got cooked. Is pretty much what it looked like. And I don't know what really happened. I just got to be more careful next time. Maybe I did it too long, sucking them up. That's also another thing too. It seemed like they were sticky if you sucked up honey. I think that also could be something to think about. Maybe because here's the thing. Also, I got to think about is that when I was sucking in there, I couldn't really feel where I was going. I didn't feel like it hit a whole bunch of comb, but there could have been a lot of honey in there. Maybe I sucked up honey too. So we just have to um, figure that out. It could have been honey though. I mean, that really could have been what it is. I thought about that too. Um, I don't know. I haven't really seen people have that problem before though. Keef half tracks of honey, don't they vomit when they get hot, and that's why they are wet? Is that kind of what they do? Now, look, I have never heard about that before, but if that's something um that's something that they do, then that could also explain it too. That they just got too hot and overheated. Because aren't there isn't there temperature that they can endure? Like what was it? The European honeybee, it was like 100 something. I researched that once because I was kind of curious about that. I think it might have like 102, or it might have been in the late 90s. I don't know, but that's interesting. Let me know in the comments if that might be something to that. Maybe they got overheated. Now, my second thoughts on that would be how to prevent that from happening again. That's just it's good that now it ain't good that happened, but it's just learning from that. Now I know I have to figure something out to prevent that from happening again. Good evening, Lee from Kodiak Farms down in Louisiana. I'm sure you've been getting a lot of rain and hot temperatures as we have been. So good to see you. Thanks for joining in. Grayson, if it's past your birthday, put a bug in your dad or mama's ear at Christmas for an endoscope. Makes for easy work figuring out what's in tree cavities in confined spaces. Well, that's actually kind of interesting. It isn't past my birthday, though. Tim and Hannah, my birthday is on July 31st, so that's what would that be? Like a month, 2 months away. No, 1 month and like 27 days left. Wait, I'm in Illinois. Oh, okay, cool. Illinois. I know some beekeepers up there in Illinois. A little bit. I'm sure it's probably different. Whatever. What's the temperature in there up there, Lee? Probably much a little bit cooler than it is here. Yeah, Lee's going up there to CJW. Rock climbing. I hope you're having fun on with that, Lee. Trying to catch up with videos, like I said. I apologize if you're a beekeeper who has a video. I haven't commented on videos lately. Man, I've been busy. It's been really busy with the bees. I mean, 13 colonies isn't a whole lot compared to what a lot of beekeepers have, but it is a lot of work for me. But it's fun. I enjoy it. 81 Fahrenheit. Yep, that's a little bit cooler than it is down here. Still warm though. 22 people on here. Thank y'all for checking in. And while you're checking in, all I ask from you is to like, if you would. There you go. Got the little like symbol. Make sure to press that. Would really appreciate it. And if you want to, consider subscribing if you're new here. Would appreciate that too. I try to keep an open mind and be honest. Because, I was kind of mentioning earlier about I killed some bees in the back when I was trying to get some bees. But it's unfortunate, but learning from that lesson, that's for sure. 82 degrees in Indiana. Pretty warm up there. That's good. Not as hot as it is down here. It's just been really, really warm and hot. Hasn't, honestly, I'm going to say this, though. It hasn't really been that bad, though. Has been pretty decent. There's still a lot more hot weather to come. I've been bottling honey, some and listening. That's good. Haven't really been able to extract yet, though. I don't know if I'm going to extract. I might just leave that honey on for the bees for this year. I might just do that and extract next year, because in my mind, I have 13 hives right now. If I can get those, first off, number one thing is going to be building them up. It's going to be making sure they all have nice queens. Those 2 colonies that don't have queens, they need to get mated queens. Let them build up, because all the bees have been building up really good, by the way. I want to try to get them all up into double deeps or just a single deep in the super. Would be really nice. Strong colonies for winter. Get them through winter. Next year, have a whole bunch of options. If I can have 10 colonies next year or something like that, even 8, I can split that down the middle. I mentioned it 100 times. They'll probably kind of getting bored of listening to that, but it's just my mindset. Split them half for splits and half for honey production. It's just kind of what my thinking has been. 75 degrees here. Where are you located, John? I can't really remember. I think you've mentioned it in a live stream before or something, but I do terrible remembering where people are located. Oh, that only way to find out if they're good for that or not. Yep. That's with that comment, you could leave your vac running to keep the air moving through the bees to help keep them cooler. Only way to find out if they're good for that or not. Yep, you were kind of talking about that earlier, but it's kind of how things have been going. I just got to figure that out. See what I need to do with that. Colorado. Okay, so 75 degrees in Colorado. For some reason, I thought you were in the south for some reason. I get mixed up. Hey, Tom and Melissa. Hey, Grayson. How was your season? It's been awesome. It's been really good so far. I still have some things to do, some things to finish up. Been running really low on equipment, which is kind of something to keep in mind of how the growth has been so far. So I need to get on that, get some top covers. Is really what I need right now, is pretty much top covers and bottom boards and deeps themselves. So if these bees continue to grow the way that they've been growing and continue doing what they're doing, I'm gonna be out of everything before too long. If they keep doing what they're doing, because they're building up really nice, they're doing what I wanted them to do. Not a whole lot of bad news except for those bees that I killed. All those bees, overheated them, I believe. In that vac, removing some bees from a tree, kind of a little root. Couldn't see where I was going. Could have been that there was some honey all covered up in them, or I believe it was just heat that killed them. I believe that's probably what that was. When we're done with this, if y'all missed the presentation, feel free to you can replay it because it was a very very short presentation, so you really didn't miss a whole lot. Just some basic things for beekeepers. I still need to um look at that little thing about the Damari method. Tim and Hannah sent me that through text like a month ago. I still haven't got to read it yet, but whenever there's a day and I'm not doing anything, nothing's on my mind for me to do, that's what I'm gonna do is um read that and do a presentation on that. That would be really interesting. I think it'd be very fun to do and talk about. So how has y'all seasons been going? So let me know in the comments kind of how many hives y'all have and what's going on in your neck of the woods. Just kind of curious, Things have been going well. I mean, really not a whole lot going on except that bees are growing, bees are doing their thing. Double bubble works great as an inner cover. I think he also said something up here. You can always try using double bubble insulation works great. Yeah. You mean for like for the time being covers? I think that's what you're talking about. Um, Works good as an inner cover, 100%. Like right now for top covers, I don't have any top covers left. I'm using right now what I'm using for top covers is inner covers, and that isn't really what I want to be doing, but kind of what I have to do at the time for the time being. Because you know what, I really didn't expect to be using that much equipment. Figured I'd get up to what eight halves, 10 halves. Even I expected to get there, but just things have been going really good. I just gotta. Hey, and you know what? I still got some nukes that need to be transferred into 10 frame boxes. By the way, um, let's see. I see a comment. Grayson, I have no clue how many hives I have, and our season has been good, with the exception of all the rain. It has slowed honey production. Yeah, absolutely. It's been a lot of rain in y'all's area and my area too. It's just kind of what happens around this time of the year. We get all this rain. Um, Not hasn't really been severe, but our lights have been kind of flickering off, which is kind of natural for down here. We get these thunderstorms coming through, and they can it does kind of slow down the process of honey making. It'll do that. Um, Always that happens all the time for us down here in summer. We just gotta battle it and get out there in the BR, do our thing. You know what I hate most about rain though is whenever that pine straw is wet. And you may be wondering why does it matter if pine straw is wet? You're not getting wet or anything, but that really does not that doesn't allow me to use that for a smoker fuel because I tried lighting some wet pine straw, see what I could do, couldn't get anything. It started going okay, but it just dimmed out. So dry pine straw is great for lighting smokers. Wet pine straw is terrible for that. I mean, that's one problem I do when I'm trying to light the smoker. For the inner cover, it's easy to pull up, easy. It it's easy to pull up, easy to put back better than I would. I think that's what I use double bubble year around. Oh, for the inner cover. Oh, I get you. Absolutely. 2 colonies and 8 more lay-ins hives to fill. Awesome. Hopefully, you can. Let's see, 2 colonies and 8 more. So you're trying to get up to like 8 or 10. Awesome. Do you have tallow blooming? Well, I know we already had a privet, but usually I never really see tallow trees around here. They're not in our I don't think they're on our property, but I think they are on some other properties. I'm pretty sure our tallow flow is probably still going. It's probably getting close to being done. I've been seeing that. Seems like it's kind of slowed down a little bit. We're getting pretty close to our dearth. Probably in mid June. We'll still have some nectar come in from things. We'll still have some tallow coming in as well. It's just not going to be as much as in spring. Not 100% sure because it's not. I've never seen any in our area in our Pacific in our on our property. There's Brian from Flower Street Farm Bees. Hello from Colorado. Thank you for joining in Jan and Brian. When the straw is dry, rake up a garbage bag full. Will last a long time. You know what, Russell? I have 100% thought about that before, and I plan to do that. That's something that I need to do. Have them already dry. That would help me out a lot, especially when it rains. It'll last a while, and I won't have to I worry about it getting wet. Keep it under something to keep it dry. Thankfully, our numbers are picking up. We are at 60 colonies, working our way to 12 to 15 this season. Well, that will be really good, Tim and Hannah. That's really good. So y'all gonna try to like catch swarms to build up. I'm assuming and stuff like that. Thanks for checking in, Lee. Hope you have a good evening too. Make sure y'all click the thumbs up button if you're checking in. Make sure to click it. Would help me out a lot. It seems like everybody is having a pretty good season so far. Just like me, I'm sure a lot of people are still working their way, building their bees up as much as we're all doing. Um, Still a lot more season to go though. We still have to get ready for summer, then we have to get ready for fall, then of course winter. Winter will be here before we know it. I mean, just a matter of time. We just gotta be ready for it. I'm even starting to prepare for that as the moment, and really preparing for winter right now is basically just building bees up for me. It's pretty much what I'm doing. That's that's exactly what I'm trying to do, and something that I focus on. Just getting them to build up. You know what? And also another update too is if y'all remember the swarm catch on that trailer, they were really starting to not really grow any. It seemed like they were declining, and they just took forever to get going. So what I did was I put a frame of brood in that colony, in that nuke, that that swarm, that trailer, and put it in there. They took off. They're doing really really good right now. That queen is mated. She's doing well. Haven't been in there for a while because if you saw my recent video, you'll know why. They're in the middle of two big colonies. I'm running out of room of everything. So here's pretty much the thing. What's going on in my apiary is I'm running out of equipment, running out of space, and um running out of top covers, bottom boards, and stuff. Which um you hear that, that's a good thing because I'm growing. It means I'm expanding my bee yard pretty significant. So my main goal right now will just be to keep these bees alive, and I'm thinking I'll be able to do that because I'm more organized this year than I have been previous years. Bees are much stronger than they were because it seemed like when I went into the DERF, every colony was in a nuke and very weak. But now most of them, all of them, are in 10 frame boxes, building up, and they have really good queens and healthy colonies. I I treated half of them, and half of them are not treated. So we'll see kind of what happens there. I didn't have enough for all of them. I kind of need a break. Yeah, it's been busy around here. Hey, Dennis Sherrill, thanks for checking in tonight. I'm gonna make sure I didn't miss anybody checking in. I don't think so. I've been pretty good at that. If y'all have any questions, feel free to put them in there. We'll go for about 10 more minutes. We'll kind of get close to shutting it down, I guess. Unless there's questions coming in, we'll keep it rolling. Getting kind of darker out here, but it stays light for a good amount of time, though. I will say, especially here in summer, it stays later. It stays light later. That's why I love doing them out here. It's just real peaceful. You may have said, how many colonies do you have at the moment? I have 13 colonies right now. 11 have mated queens. 2 have cells that are pretty much getting ready to hatch, and they'll probably have a mated queen very very soon. Those nukes will I have to find a spot for them though. Because one is in its original location, and then one is on top of a colony, which is not a good idea. But I kind of have to do that right now. That's the thing. I'm running out of space. I'm gonna need. already talked to my granddad about it. We're gonna be setting out some more what do you call it, stands, and get some more space. So I'll kind of video that a little bit because the stands that are set out right now, my granddad built them. So I have one base. We just got to put the post in, and um and then we'll make some more and put them in the ground. Well, thanks for checking in, Sarah. Hope you have a great week too. Hope everybody has a great week, by the way. Our state meeting is June 14th with James Ellis and Dewey Karen. That timing may be perfect. Huh. I'm having a lot of honeybund hives and swarm shells and virgin in the hives. Yes, you know what? I've been having some. Haven't had a big problem with honeybound hives, but it can be an issue for a lot of beekeepers. I've had the issue too. 25 folks in here. That's actually not bad. A lot of people checking in tonight. Thank you all for. I really appreciate people joining in. It's really helps me out a lot, and I hope people have fun with them. I have fun. If y'all would make sure to click the thumbs up button. Last time I checked, we had like 18 or something. Make sure just to click that like button. Share if you would like. You know, you're not forced. You don't got to. I mean, it don't really. You know, it's not anything needed. Just make sure to click the like button. But always helps. It's always very much appreciated. Brian, I have you state meeting on my calendar as a reminder, but I don't know that we can make it out on that way. If you have any final questions, feel free to put them in there. I'll answer them. If you can hear from the mic, you can hear those crickets. I think that's what they are. They always start around this time. That kind of fills the silence when I'm not talking. Another thing I like to do. That's the reason why I like to be outside. You can hear the natural sounds of nature, and it's very, very peaceful. So if I'm not talking, you can just listen to the nature sounds. Trying to think if there's anything else I need to mention. I don't think there's any more updates than that. It's pretty much about it. That's pretty much what's happening around here. Not really anything else going on. But uploading videos, and we'll keep y'all updated. You know, my videos usually go out Saturday mornings at 11 a.m. That's kind of like how I like doing that. That's kind of been my schedule now. So you know, if you're a viewer, if you're wondering where I'm uploading, every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. my video will premiere, and you'll be able to watch it live if you want to. And if you don't catch it during the premiere, that's fine. You can just watch it afterwards. That's 100% pretty good. Yep, looks real nice there. It is. It's really nice out here. You know, if you don't know already, you know, we live on 40 acres of land, and our bees are in the woods. That's why it's called Wildwoods Honeybee Farms. It's really nice out here. Thanks for the nature. Hey Mary. Good to see you. Thanks for the nature sounds and sights. Good night. Thanks for checking in, Mary. Really appreciate y'all joining in. Always appreciated, as usual. Don't have any more guests scheduled. If you're curious, I just haven't had time to do that. I wish I did, but I just haven't had the time to do it. You know, I need to get some folks on. So if you have any recommendations of people you think I should get on, I'll get them on there. Seen less than a dozen beetles so far. Yeah, I haven't seen around here at least. You know, I haven't seen as many beetles really. You know, I've been kind of surprised. I've been seeing them here and there, has not been really huge problem this year. It's been really low in my concern so far. We'll see how what the derf does. We'll see kind of what happens during that time frame because you never know. Are the mimosa trees blooming good over that way? Ours helped us get through tallow with the privet burning up early on. Pretty. I know there's a lot of things blooming now. Like I said in every single live stream, I'm pretty not. I really don't know things about flowers and stuff. So only thing I really know is tallow and privet. I know what mimosa trees are, but I'm pretty sure we have some around here. It's just I just don't remember names really good. Haven't seen any. Yeah, I need to probably get better on my flowers stuff. So when people ask me that all the time about flowers and stuff, and I can never give them a straight answer. I always have to say I don't know much about flowers, so I'm not the flower guy. No matter really, even if somebody's just asking me about flower, I just haven't really. I'm not really good at those. I don't know. It's just how I've always been. I need to get better on them so I can answer them with better answers. Let's see. Nothing else. I don't think that's really on there. Grayson, yes, that's a huge mimosa tree slash bush behind my bedroom window. Okay, that's my mom right there. So, okay, we do have mimosa trees. There you go. That's your answer. So yes, we do have mimosa trees, and it seems like they are blooming, which is a good thing. So I'm sure the bees are all over them. They like those. That's probably helping out. I need to go look at that and see if I see any bees. You know what I'll do? I'll take my phone, and if I can get around that bush, I'll video that and put it as a short, and we'll see if there's any bees on there. I'm not really sure if it's if they're blooming yet. Well, we've gone 57 minutes already. Wow, that's pretty fast. With these live streams go really really fast, and um, seems like it hasn't been really 57 minutes. That's what I always say at live streams. Honest. I guess that's probably about it of updates. Everything's going good. That's pretty much the summary. Running out of equipment. We'll build more equipment. I'm hoping to build some more equipment. I started on some nuke boxes. I don't know. I can't remember exactly where those nuke boxes are. I would go get them real quick. If you, all right, I will. I'll be right back. I'll bring. I need to bring some over here. I'll be right back. Well, never mind. I already forgot. I already used it. But anyway, what I was gonna do was I was gonna show y'all a nuke box I made, but I already forgot. I already used it. It's already out in the B yard. So well, anyway, I'll do video. Well, anyway, what I was gonna get to was I'm gonna be building equipment. A lot of equipment too. And I was starting on a project building some nukes, and they turned out really really good. I was surprised with the way they turned out. So building those, gonna build some top covers and some bottom boards. So actually, on my last video, I actually used one of my granddad's bottom boards that he made. What the only thing I have to do is I need to add some screen to it, which will be easy. That's not really hard to do. So I just gotta do that. It'll be good to go. But I used one and it didn't have the screen, so what I did was I took a piece of plywood, just put it on the bottom, kind of not allow too much stuff to get in. Well, I guess we're here in an hour. Not a whole bunch more to talk about. Thank y'all all for joining in. Good night, Brian. Let's see here. I think that's about it. I don't see any more comments. Thank y'all for joining in tonight. Really appreciate y'all. If y'all would click that thumbs up button on your way out, would greatly appreciate it. And thanks for the questions and the chit chat. We'll see y'all most likely next week. I'll probably do one next week. I'm going to try to get back into a weekly basic thing of actually doing them instead of skipping every other week. But you know what? I might get to a point where I do that. It's honestly, it's a breather being able to just, not have to do them every single week. So we'll see. I always give notice if I'll do one or not, or if I want to take a break. But anyway, thanks for watching. Click that thumbs up button on your way out. Share, like, subscribe. You know the drill. Thank y'all for watching. We'll catch y'all next time. Everyone have a blessed day and a week.